Hello and welcome to your award-winning The Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke every single week through news and headlines ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Daniel, and today for sector number 498, first co-host on here is the return of Julian from Lazy Gaming Guys.
Hello, everyone. I'm back again.
And the LGG takeover continues as Julian had predicted, as we have the debut of another Lazy Gaming Guys member, another streamer on their channel, and it is the debut of Jacque. So Jacque, say Wakanda forever to everyone out there.
Hello, Wakanda forever. And I know, look, I know my black ass broke, so we're gonna talk about what's been like ailing all of our wallets today.
You love that movie, right? That's the only reason I did that special intro for you.
Yes, and maybe it's the only Marvel movie we still stand.
Yeah, it's true. This is true. This is like, after I think back on the other Marvel movies, like, yeah, whatever. But then, I think back to like a Black Panther. That was a solid movie. I like that movie.
Man, I couldn't finish that shit.
Would you rather watch the Spider-Man ones?
No, man, that one sucked. Man, yeah, no. I finished Homecoming, so it has that, but I couldn't finish Black Panther. I couldn't finish Doctor Strange, and those were the last two that I was just like, all right, I'm done.
I always tell,
wow, you picked some. Wow, you. Wow,
I always tell people when it comes to Black Panther, man, like, what was it? Like for me, it was like the soundtrack. I really love what Ludwig did with it. I don't know. Have you ever seen Creed?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Creed. If you listen to Creed, it's the same guy who does the soundtrack for Creed. His name is Ludwig, and he does such good work. The way he like I've never heard anybody like meld like classical like music like with an orchestra with not just hip hop, and trap beats, while at the same time mixing in like African instruments and stuff, giving it this very unique feel. And honestly, like that soundtrack had me going.
And the same actors in both movies.
Yeah,
this is
pretty
true.
much.
Same actors.
Same director too.
Oh.
But for anyone else, if this is your very first episode of the show, the way we format it is we go through news. That's the bulk of the episode. And then this week, we do have the What's New on HBO Max. We do that once a month, the March 2022 highlights. And then we end it with the Bro Kept Block, which is the more personal side of the podcast. What we've been doing since the last time you heard us, what we've been watching, playing, reading, whatever it may be. And we'll save that till the very end. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump in and explore sector number 498. First news story here is PlayStation, as the upcoming TV show based on the Twisted Metal video game series has now been ordered by Peacock. It will star Anthony Mackie from Captain America Winter Soldier. They are describing this series as a comedy. How do you guys feel about this, with Twisted Metal having been pretty much out of the limelight for several years now?
Oh, so I played all the Twisted Metal games on the PlayStation when they came out. I didn't really get into it. By the time I got to the PS2, I had really fallen out of it, because it's like I'd fallen out of the whole crash cars into each other, cars go boom kind of phase in my life, as all young boys do. And it being a comedy, I guess it makes sense, because if Twisted Metal takes itself way too seriously, it could like end up being stupid, like the PS2 games that take themselves way too seriously.
That's one thing about the game, where you're right, it does kind of go for almost this horror type of take on it, or post-apocalyptic. Do you think a comedy twist, Jacque, could maybe help with the crazy visuals and crazy cars and characters they have on there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if the movie's not taking itself seriously, I think that it would do a lot better than a movie that is. Because when a movie takes itself seriously, now, like, you're thinking, right? You're thinking about all the decisions they made, all of the, all the directorial, all the like the decision they made with special effects and everything. When you're watching a comedy, like, you're laughing. If the jokes are good, then you're having a good time.
But it's also a double-edged sword, because if they fall flat, suddenly you have a show that's just lame to look at.
Yeah, if you're not laughing, if it's a comedy and you're not laughing, then you fucked up. Because now it is going to critique the shit out of whatever you made.
I never owned Twisted Metal, but I used to get my parents to rent the game from Blockbuster and Hollywood Video back in the day. So it would be fun for a couple of days, but I would kind of get tired of it by the third day, which is usually was like a 3 to 5 day rental anyway. So I never asked for it for like my birthday or for the holidays or anything like that. But I did
same.
always play as like the guy who's inside the big wheels. Like he's just right there freeing it and freeballing it right in the center. And that's who I always played at. Is there any character that you guys played as throughout the series as they continued?
There were two characters that I used. I pretty much always use Sweet Tooth because I'm like, it's hilarious. It's a hilarious killer clown. It's like, haha, it's funny. And then also, I can't remember his name, but there was this character who drove like essentially like this Mad Max style Mustang looking car.
Yes.
Now that I think about it, it's like Vin Diesel's character in Fast and the Furious if he decided to get to a fucking fight and just get into a random like freaking road rally type deal. But that's the only characters I can remember off the top of my brain because it's been forever since it's been over 2 decades since I touched that video game.
Did he have the power of family?
I don't think so. He was more Mad Max, less Dom.
How about you, Jacque? Was Twisted Metal something you played?
I remember having a copy of it for PS2 for like a little bit when I was in high school. I don't remember playing a lot of it. I do remember like Sweet Tooth, but that's like, I was a broke kid. Look, I was a broke kid. I had like one console and very few games.
Tekken 4. Lots of Tekken 4.
There was a lot of Tekken 4 played in my house, yes.
Well, I remember those.
How that harangue.
I will kill you and stick you on a pike, Julian. Don't test me.
Harangue.
I relate with that, man, because when I was a kid, my parents bought the NES, and literally the only game we ever owned throughout the entire lifespan of that was just the Mario Duck Hunt combo. Like I think it even came with the console. If I don't remember, but we never had money to buy other NES games, so it was just that on repeat constantly. I'd go downstairs to my neighbor's apartment, and he'd have the Tiny Toons game. He'd have all kinds of comic books. So yeah,
I know that life. Yeah,
yeah. For me,
a lot of my games I played at other people's houses.
Yeah, for me it was Sega Genesis for years. I only had 3. It was my sister's. She only had 3 games on it, and we only had the 3 games on it: Sonic 2, Toe Jam and Earl, and Echo the Dolphin.
God,
Echo the Dolphin scarred me as a child.
Why?
Because it's like the music in it is so creepy when you get like deeper in the water, and then you have to keep Echo from drowning, and that part really stinks because Echo can't, because like when you drown you just die, and then it's like back in the days where you had to use codes to for game saves and stuff like that. So, and then like most of the enemies would do things. Only thing I had was a stupid tackle attack, which got me killed more than it actually saved me from damage, and it somehow made me scared to go underwater in video games.
Underwater levels always suck no matter what, even up to the N64 games, Ocarina of Time. Fuck that. Couldn't
my biggest thing was I don't like any underwater levels in Mario games. I, to this day,
man, look, let me tell you something, all right? We all have nightmares from the Sonic soundtrack. Because
Jacque, see, you never played enough Labyrinth Zone in Sonic 1. You just constantly failing it over and over and over again.
Look, man, let me tell you something, bro. I had that like music when you were like underwater in Sonic, bro, gave me such anxiety as a child.
Yeah, but I played Sonic to death, so that sound does nothing to me anymore.
Well, you're better than us, Julian. So
I am, aren't I?
I do want, though, if by the time the season 1 ends on Peacock, like if they're like, let's say the main character, because there's going to be a crew of main characters that are in the tournament, and they're all good. There's going to be bad guys, but I want them to maybe fail or come across an obstacle. And like you said, Julian, up comes this black Mustang, and he says, "You're missing family," and that's where season 1 ends. And like that would be amazing. I would subscribe to Peacock, and he would work really well in the Twisted Metal series. You can have a Fast and Furious character in there.
It's not hard. It's not hard to put Dominic Toretto in something. It's like you just need a character to stand there, go family, and then move on. I mean, it's like people are like, he has more character than that. Like, you say that because you're a fan and you've seen all the movies. But if I've seen the movies too, but Dominic Toretto he's a personality, not a character.
I can agree with that. As someone who owns all the Fast and Furious movies, I can absolutely agree. And I love it though. I know what to expect when I go and see those.
It's like, I've seen Vin Diesel have more character in The Tooth Fairy.
Or Iron Giant even.
Yes. Or even freaking just saying Groot has more freaking emotions than freaking Dominic Toretto.
This next news story, I do expect Jacque to have quite a number of opinions on this one. Evo has revealed that Super Smash Bros. Will not be a part of their tournament this year due to Nintendo not renewing their partnership. So to anyone that's confused, Evo is basically a premier worldwide video game tournament for essentially fighting games is the main focus, but I know they do have some other stuff thrown in as well. Back in 2020, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa clarified that the company's stance on esports competitive gaming was the following, quote, esports in which players compete on stage for prize money as an audience watches demonstrates one of the wonderful charms of video games. It's not that we're opposed to it, so that our games can be widely enjoyed by anyone regardless of experience, gender, or age. We want to be able to participate in a wide range of different events. Our strength, what differentiates us from other companies in this different worldview, not an amount of prize money, end quote. So Jacque, I want to hear from you on this one because obviously you're more in this than I think I am.
Go ahead, Jacque. I want you to get your rant out before I decide to get mine in. I want to see what you think about this.
So it's funny, like when this, like a friend of mine literally predicted this like a few months back, maybe 6 months ago, that Nintendo wasn't going to be in this Evo. And I don't know if it was 6 months ago, but it was when Sony like bought Evo, right? Because like he kind of like, he was right, because they kind of don't want to work with, I guess they don't want to work with Sony. I don't know, because I can totally see like Sony buying Evo. I don't really know the inside, like what happened behind the scenes, but I could totally like see the Sony maybe like requiring the game owners to like pay money to to be at the tournament. I don't know if Nintendo paid. I doubt Nintendo paid money before, but Sony might require companies whose tournament they host to pay money now. I haven't gotten a chance to look into that yet. But even if it's not that, then there's also the case that Nintendo is kind of like, it's not really competing, but like, I guess there's no better way of saying it. Sony is somewhat of a competing company for Nintendo, and Nintendo may just be, we don't want to work with them, and they decided, we're just not gonna be at Evo anymore, because it wasn't really a problem before Sony bought Evo, but now that Sony owns Evo, it's a problem.
So you think there is a tie in there that it has nothing to do with the prize money as much, but more on who owns Evo now?
I mean, it hasn't really had anything to do with the prize money for the past few decades. Well, not few decades, but past like, I don't know, decade or so that they've been doing Evo, but now suddenly Sony owns it. Now they have a problem with the prize money. So
Jacque, poor naive Jacque. You think that's the issue. That's cute.
Well, what do you think, Julian?
Okay, so essentially, there's multiple problems here. It's with Nintendo. First, let's talk about Nintendo themselves. One, the whole Sony bought, we're not sponsoring and buying Evo thing. That's real. That's happening. That's happened. It's part of the thing. And so the first inkling is Nintendo's like, we don't want our brand to get mixed. Well, this is me speculating because I was going to rant about this on stream, and I'm still going to. But Nintendo essentially is like, oh no, we don't want our brand getting mixed up with all this Sony stuff. Because Nintendo is still run by a bunch of crotchety old men who don't know how to like let go of being xenophobic and junk. So so yeah, this whole situation is like them being like, we don't want to get mixed up and involved with all this. Another one is that Evo didn't just ask, like a lot of people who pay attention to Evo and with Smash, if you pay attention to Smash Brothers, it's like they'll take the recent game, but also they ask for Melee. And we all know how Nintendo feels about freaking old games, and their stances on old games has become worse and worse as the years have gone on. They are not good. They do not want to have anything and especially when it comes to Melee, they don't want to deal with Melee anymore. They feel they like have taken the wrong stance on it. Like for me, pretty much, I'm tired of the super fans who think every single game after Melee is subpar and trash. That's what pisses me off about it. But with Nintendo, they're like, no, 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 no. You should play the recent game because we can still make money off of it. It's like, bitch, Smash is done. You're not only money you're going to make off of it now is for people who are curious. And if there's still people who are curious about it at this day and age, after it has like all these freaking different video game characters outside of Nintendo that people like, I don't know it's going to convince them to get it at this point. Everybody who wants Smash has Smash now. If you want people to get more people to get Smash, you should let it be an Evo. I don't see the problem here. It's because when Smash Brothers got into Evo, I remember when Smash got into Evo, it made Evo's numbers jump up significantly because Smash is an entry level type of game. Anybody can pick up Smash Brothers and play it, but it takes skill to master Smash Brothers. Unlike normal fighting games where you have to have where you have to understand how fighting games where you have to understand have to understand what zoners are, what rushers are, all this stuff. But with Smash Brothers, you can just pick it up and play it, and they can have certain, and even in tournaments, they have certain levels, certain levels in some of them. Back when I went into them, I went into a smaller demographic of players who weren't super crazy skilled, and I did well in those, and I still had bad times because people were toxic. And then there was the higher level ones where people are like, oh yeah, freaking this only that, Fox Final Destination, yada yada blah blah blah.
Yeah. That's what I play.
But the whole thing about it is, it's a lot more people are willing to invest time into getting good at Smash over normal fighting games. Which, as a person who's played normal fighting games first, it's it stinks that a lot that some people are willing to put that time into normal fighting games. But I understand that there's a level in there.
Real quick on that, and it's interesting because I have a friend of mine who's actually really good at fighting games. He competes in a few of them, and it's probably one of the best I know. It's Smash Bros is this game that our platform fighters in general really are games that it's easy to feel like you know what you're doing early on, but at the same time, one thing he points out is the fact that what's interesting is that those games are technically once you get into higher level play, they're actually harder than 2D fighters, because, and I kind of saw this when I was playing Guilty Gear, because the rules are very straightforward with a 2D fighter, right? Your opponent does this, you do this, but there are so many different options that you have in a platform fighter. You can I
can dodge up, down, left.
Yeah, there's so many different things that you can do. It actually makes it more complicated once you become better at the game, and it's actually kind of a harder game to play. Which is sad that the company that really started off this whole platform fighter genre doesn't really respect it as a fighting game, because it's a wonderful complex fighting game. Doesn't really get the notoriety as a fighting game as it could.
It's because of the negative stigma behind Smash that when Nintendo's not sponsoring these things, the negative stigma for Smash suddenly pops up, and they don't want any of that, because it's even if it was those few sour notes within the community, that whole controversy back a couple of years ago really soured Nintendo's mood about fucking having Smash be be part of these global competitions that they don't have control over, that they can't invite certain people to. It's unless you're a squeaky clean YouTube personality that has no controversies connected to you, I don't think you're not gonna get Nintendo to invite you to their invitationals for Smash Brothers that they usually tend to hold during E3 and all this junk.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of hard, to say, because people are going to people, right?
Yeah, people are going to people.
Yeah,
the fact is, Nintendo. The fact is, it's Nintendo as a company is kind of back asswards.
And just for clarity, for anyone that's not familiar with the controversy, if you're not in the gaming in Smash Brothers, from what I remember and correct me if I'm wrong, but the basic gist of it was some of the competitors were hooking up with some of the other competitors or viewers or whatever that might have been underage. So that was the stigma there that happened with some of the competitors.
Yes, it goes a little bit further than that, but yes, like a notable person in this whole thing, Zero. He was the best, like hands down, the best Smash 4 player. Was very it was revealed that he very much was trying to get with like a 14-year-old girl, I think, or something like that. Like he definitely tried that, and knowing that she was 14,
Sure.
So yeah, he was like the best Smash 4 player, and in the middle of this, he was trying to transition over to playing Melee, and then this happened, and now he's kind of like just falling off the scene altogether. But yeah, what was it?
I don't think the controversy, personally, just from seeing all of this and seeing Nintendo for all these years, I mean, you guys lived through the GameCube era, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. They are not interested in not just not supporting Melee, but even in the competitive scene, all the way back from GameCube. I remember their mantra, and I think it still continues today, is fun over competitiveness. Like they prefer to create a game.
Yeah. That's Nintendo.
Yeah,
Yes,
all
'cause,
ages. And the tournaments don't fit that. Otherwise, they'd have Mario Kart tournaments every year. They'd have, a lot of their games.
Yeah,
would
I think
have
you're
that.
right about that, right? And the thing that I don't get about that is competition is fun. Like,
Sure,
like some
but
people,
they don't see it that way. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's because literally the only part of Nintendo that embraces their competitive side is Pokemon. But that's because Pokemon, essentially Nintendo knows that they can't control Pokemon as much as they want to, because Pokemon is its own company now.
Right.
They literally, Nintendo might have rights to Pokemon, might have some of the rights to Pokemon, but Pokemon Company itself is its own beast, its own level of thing. And if they told Pokemon, no, we're not going to let you have tournaments anymore, Pokemon's going to still do whatever they want, break off from, and that's when the day Pokemon's going to break off from Nintendo. And Nintendo doesn't want that, because
then you'll have Pokemon
the second most known mascot in the world.
You have Pokemon on PC and PlayStation.
That'll never happen, says the guy who witnessed Sonic on an Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo.
Right.
Yeah, you never know anymore.
And then another whole thing about this is that, as much as Sakurai's tried to make Smash is like change, even Sakurai's changed from how like this whole, he used to think, like back during Melee, he would tell people, if you want to be competitive, go play Virtual Fighter or something. And it's like,
even him,
he actually said, he's quoted saying that.
Who said that?
Sakurai told people back when Melee was super popular, it's like, if you want to play a competitive fighting game, go play Virtual Fighter 2.
Jesus.
So his intentions are not to make a competitive game.
Yeah, no. Like,
and then that's why Brawl became the way it was, because it was like,
Brawl,
I'm going to make a game where it's dang near impossible to be super competitive without because of that tripping RNG mechanic. It's like you run. It's like oh, look at these people with their wave canceling and their dash and their constant dash dancing like a normal fighting game. I'm going to make it where if you do that too much, your character slips and falls.
Yeah, well, you can't wave dash in Brawl, but you can you could dash dance. And you could, but then you increase your chance of tripping, which essentially your character just falls over for no reason. Like you could just be walking, running, doing anything with your feet on the ground, and your character would just fall over for no reason. So you're trying to run up on somebody to follow up on a hit that you did, and you just fall over. You just, one of the reasons why Meta Knight was so broken in that game, because he could just stay in the air almost indefinitely. So he didn't have to worry about that. And furthermore, other characters, other changes they made at the game was when you hit your opponent, it would send them flying much further away. That was just to keep you from being able to follow up on hits to try to remove combos from the game. Then Meta Knight happened.
Since Smash 4, and then especially in Smash Ultimate, Sakurai has embraced there's a competitive community, and Sakurai embraces it, but the whole Nintendo as a whole doesn't. And it's so contradictory to the whole situation. Them not at least letting Smash Ultimate be an Evo is a travesty.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this whole situation, it's like, Nintendo, you're screwing yourselves over, because it's not like you're hosting anything right now. It's like, I understood when you were hosting your own tournaments when Smash Ultimate came out, but you're not doing that anymore. You're not hosting tournaments. You're not doing anything. You don't have any. all the Smash Brothers fans are essentially like, they were slowly becoming less disjointed. Besides the Melee Bros who won't move on,
Yeah.
a lot of the Smash fans were starting to come back together with Ultimate, and then all you needed to do was give it a decent competitive scene to people to pay attention to, and Smash Ultimate would have soared farther than it already has.
Yeah, but you're not wrong,
but this whole situation, like I was watching Maximilian Dude talk about this. This whole thing is stupid.
Yeah. You're not wrong about that. But they didn't. Even when they had their tournaments, they didn't take it seriously because a lot of tournaments, the prizes was I don't know, like
a backpack.
A backpack or something, right? And understand, Smash Bros. Whether they want to recognize that, it's considered an esport, right? And so when you stacked it up with other esports have hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands of dollars. Hell, if you look at Dota and League, you win a major tournament in Dota and League, you're set for life because it's over $1 million
so
for winning those tournaments. And freaking Smash Bros was not too different, right? I mean, it was a little bit on a lower pay bracket, but you win Evo, you win Smash at Evo, then yeah, you do win $1,000 or something, right? It's it was a good amount of money. Then furthermore, it brought money, and it wasn't the people running the tournament didn't make money. Hell, Evo wouldn't be a thing. So for freaking tournaments are profitable. So pretty much what Nintendo wants is to make money off these tournaments. Well, that's what they wanted in the past, was to make money off these tournaments and then give the competitors a backpack for their trouble.
It's we flew you all the way out here to win a backpack. Yay! I can't wait.
I can't
wait. Use this backpack while I continue to eat my cup ramen.
By the way,
while my fingers slowly degrade.
While they pocket the what you call them, the revenue from the tournament,
ergonomically easy to use.
Outside of the sponsorships, because they make money off the sponsorships, of course, the ad revenue for if they watch it on stream and all that stuff, they make money off of that, a lot of money off of that. But outside of that, they also make money off the competitors who have to pay to participate in the tournament.
Evo 2022, in case you do want to watch it, I know Smash isn't a part of it, but they still have Street Fighter and a lot of other impressive games. It does take place on March 8th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This next news story was predicted by, I can't remember which co-host predicted, but during last week's it was Bobby. I just wanted to see if he freaked out on the other side. Bobby called it.
This Captain, my dad works at Nintendo over here.
He's the guy, yeah. Bobby predicted, and it happened. It occurred during last week's Pokemon Presents. The Pokemon Company announced Gen 9 through Pokemon Violet and Scarlet for the Nintendo Switch. The new games will explore a new region, and the 3 starters include Sprigatito, who is a grass type, Fuecoco, who is a fire type, and Quaxley, who is a water type. The first 2 have a Spanish word in there, but the last one, I'm all right, maybe not that one. And I guess it takes place in the Spaniard region, right? So
yes,
it all makes sense.
From what everybody's speculating, it's Spain, Portugal area.
Gotcha. It is set for late 2022, but yeah, go ahead, keep going.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So that date, there's my problem with this. Oh my God, Nintendo. You say late, but we know it's coming out in November. You can, it's unless something happens where you have to delay it, which would be a godsend in my opinion. Because I don't think this game should be coming out this year. As interested as I am in it, because Fuecoco is it's adorable little fire crocodile looking thing. It's yes, I love it. It's fire Totodile. More please. But Pokemon, please. You don't have to come up with a game every year. This is the problem. This is why Sword and Shield didn't do as hot as you wanted. That's why everybody gave Sword and Shield such flack. It feels like you're just testing us on whatever new mechanic you come up with, whatever new graphical thing you decide to deal with, a step up, a small step up, and then just say, okay, we'll just work on this and we'll just put it in the next game. Don't worry about it. It's like stack all your eggs in one pile. Your Pokemon, you can make it without a main series game coming out every year, you guys.
I agree with that. I agree. I feel like honestly, I feel like this whole like annual release for games in general. This is another conversation. So, but
like what, a month?
Yeah,
a half,
like this whole thing. This whole thing where like, they have to release like a main like a main series game for all these games, right? Every year is I don't agree with it because you can't be creative and innovative every single freaking year. You can't do it.
Assassin's Creed issue again, all over. It's an Assassin's Creed issue. They come up with a new Assassin's Creed, but what makes it different from the last one that someone hasn't played already? It's like all the people I know who have played Assassin's Creed, and even when I played like the first couple of games, it's like there's some good quality changes here, but after a while it starts becoming stale. I haven't played one since freaking Black Flag on the I think that was 4 or something. Because like all these games, I look at people playing it, it's like it's the same shit.
You know what? But the thing is too, it's a good year. It would have been a good year for them to like skip making a game because Arceus literally just came out.
It's like bolster Arceus and get
like and they literally could have went off on Arceus for a little while. They literally like could have just like rolled with Arceus for a while, like and just update that, but while they took 2 years to work on this new Pokemon game, but nah.
Because it's like everyone goes, and then the people who argue it, like even Scott does this, and it's like it's a spin-off game. It's like no, it doesn't matter. Game Freak was working on this. It's like Game Freak was splintered. Well, it seems that Game Freak was splintered while they're working on Arceus. They've been slowly working on this whatever they have for Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, and they always do this. They always, it's like Game Freak's doing this while they also do this. Game Freak's doing that while they also do that. I want to just make give it like I don't care if it's like 2 months late and it comes out in the beginning of next year. Just don't do. It's like I don't think it should come out this year.
Yo, like this was it Sprigatito?
Sprigatito.
Sprigatito.
Gatito is Spanish for small cat.
I swear, I'll be. Was it no freaking like they better have its like thing in the Pokedex as the herb Pokemon.
Yes. Weed cat, no thoughts alligator, and Donald Duck. That's the meme.
Yeah, I've seen the Kingdom of Hearts meme where it's Donald.
God, it is Donald Duck.
Everybody
Donald
has
Trump.
literally been putting pictures of Fuecoco and Totodile together, and it's just them with their mouths wide open, no thought. It's like. No thoughts. That's the title.
Well, which starter would you go with if you bought this game? And I know, Julian, you're definitely buying it, but which starter would you go with here?
Oh, Fuecoco. Definitely.
Fuecoco?
Yeah. At first I was gonna go with the cat one because I own a cat, but it's like no, that's predictable. Also, I did a grass type last time. I need to when I did Sword and Shield, I used Grookey because monkeys. But now it's like no. Gotta get the crocodiles. Gotta get that crocodile alligator love that comes from me being a Floridian out of me.
And it won't depend on the evolutions, what they look like, or could you change your mind based on that?
I haven't had that happen since Sun and Moon, because at first I was like, I guess I can take Poppy, little giant seal. It could turn into a giant cool seal thing, and then it turned into Ariel, and I'm like, no. I don't really. And then I decided I'm gonna go with. It's like, and then I couldn't make up and then I said I'll just go with the owl then instead.
Go ahead with yours. But I was
I don't really play Pokemon, but look, I have to pick Sprigatito. 420 every day. You heard?
Shut up, John. Shut up. Why don't you? You know what? This is why when I come see you next time, you're going to be finishing Let's Go Pikachu because you need to finish at least some kind of Pokemon game.
You can't break that double.
That's right. That was your first game, right?
The double game.
You can't break that double game. Wow.
You and your adventures with Rat Ninja are gonna finish.
Right. I want Quaxley to evolve.
Oh yeah, I called him Rat Ninja, didn't I?
Oh my god,
I forgot about that.
Daniel, go on.
I want Quaxley to evolve into this like big, muscular, bearded old duck, just so that you can change your mind and go with Quaxley instead.
I hate you right now.
Maybe a Tritonish character.
No, shut up. It doesn't have to be fucking. Oh
hey, he can also be the king of the ponds.
I feel like I'm being ganged up on right now. God damn
Hey,
it. I need to find
got a tight.
something. I need to find something out there that breaks that breaks Daniel to get him to understand that I don't love Triton as much.
He's got, he got a thing for freaking monarchs of bodies of water. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my choice is the same. I'm initially going with Fuecoco, but I do like Quaxley after I saw like the Donald Duck and the Donald Trump like memes and all that. So
oh my god.
If the shiny Quaxley has orange hair, I'll be like, fuck, I gotta get Quaxley.
Yes, I gotta admit that.
Give it about, that means when it first comes out, give it about a day before somebody finds out what the rare colors are, and then you'll just have to sit there and reset the game over and over again until you get it.
Pretty much. We also got some anime news this week as Funimation Global Group has merged its catalog of content with Crunchyroll. And this is a quote from CEO of Crunchyroll, Colin Decker, who said, quote, "When we bought Funimation and Crunchyroll together last year, our top priority was to put fans first. Unifying all of our brands and services under the Crunchyroll brand globally enables us to offer more value than ever before as we combine subs, dubs, simulcasts, library, music, movies, manga, all into one subscription." End quote. The memberships currently start at $7.99 and cap at $14.99. Is this a good or a bad thing?
Mixed feelings.
So, I have mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings because, like, I've said it like a few times on a Discord and the stream, and so I will say it again here.
Say your favorite word, Jacque. Say it. Use it. Go on. Use it.
I'm not about to call them a monopoly or oligopoly. I'm actually about to. Although I am concerned with that. That was like. Was it like, but the second point I was going to make, the first point I was going to make was basically torn on it is like these companies with like all these different subscriptions. I don't feel like it's sustainable as everybody has their own damn subscription. Mm-hmm. I'm paying $5 a month for this, $10 a month for that, $15 a month for this, $7 a month for that. Eventually, like if I can't just buy something like buy something and own it, or have like a place where I can like, okay, I can pay the subscription and access like a large majority of the things that I can like that I can want to like access over a period of time, then it's going to become unsustainable. Honestly, I never even talked about what my biggest complaint for that comes, by the way, but I'll get to that in a second. Like, but yeah, one of my big concerns is like I don't think one company buying up all the streaming services is the answer. But now I don't have to decide, do I pick Crunchyroll or do I pick Funimation? Mm-hmm. I can just pick, their streaming service together and have access to all of it. Like where this complaint comes from is back in the day when we first started Lazy Gaming, guys, like I was, doing a lot of editing. I still do some editing. I need to get back into it, but I was using Adobe Premiere Pro. Well, actually I was using Sony Vegas at first, and then I went to Adobe Premiere Pro later. But the issue with like Adobe Premiere Pro,
how'd you get Adobe, Jacque?
So the issue with Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop was that like if I wanted to get it, like if I wanted to pay for it, like legitimately and get it legitimately, they went out of their way to make sure that I couldn't just buy it. Even like like back when I was working like job at Academy for I think it was like $11 an hour or something around there. I was trying to like consider saving up some money to get it, and get to pay it in one lump sum because I didn't want to pay a subscription, right? And then the thing was it was like $1,000, $1,500 or something like that to pay it. But then he's like, oh, but you can get it for like, was it like $10 or $20 a month or something? No, it wasn't like, it definitely wasn't under $10 a month. I think it was like $20 a month or something. And the thing about it is, we don't make enough money on this, but to justify paying $20 a month for this shit.
Right.
Freaking and then and as time went by, they slowly more and more just phased out even the option to buy it. Mm-hmm. and own it. And it's like, no, we want you to pay the subscription so we can constantly make money off of you continuously. And I just don't I don't think everything needs to be a freaking subscription service.
Yeah, me and Jacque both used to own actually. Also, we both took a graphic design class in college, and we both used to own all the Adobe.
We did.
Adobe,
We owned
Adobe
Photoshop
stuff. Adobe
and
Photoshop
Illustrator.
and Illustrator. Yeah, it cost like $300 back then, but without student discount, that took off only half. But it was feasible to, people were just buying it, but they realized once people buy it, then we could just read on, it's like we can just keep updating it. Someone in Adobe's like, we're the only people who make anything good besides Sony Vegas. Why don't we just make people pay a subscription for it? But my biggest issue with this whole thing isn't the whole subscription fees. It's just that anime, because Funimation and Crunchyroll merging together, it's like you think it'd be kind of questionable a little bit, because now it's like at first Funimation was like, we have distanced ourselves from all Crunchyroll, like what, 2 years ago? 2 years ago?
That's Sony bought.
And now suddenly now suddenly you feel like it's feasible to team up.
Yeah, because Sony bought Crunchyroll.
Yeah. It's like if Sony, it's because Sony's like, it's like that's the whole thing here. It's like, oh boy, Sony are hopefully Sony doesn't pull their, see, because that's the big thing. Sony now owns it. Sony owns Funimation. Sony owns Crunchyroll. They're both together now. Sony's like trying to do the same thing that Microsoft has been doing, gaining
assets
for stuff to break themselves outside of video games, break themselves outside of video game stuff a little bit. They're not as blatant about it as Sony was. I mean, not as Microsoft was back when the Xbox One started, which is part of the reasons why Xbox One had its issues, because they were so busy. Because the first thing they introduced about Xbox One, I will never forget this, was an episode of The Price is Right. It's like, this is a gaming conference, and you just and the first thing you showed on your gaming console is that it could stream The Price is Right. Okay. This is it, and pretty much even it's like back then it's like, oh, back during the lazy gaming guys days of poo Xbox is dumb. We don't care. It doesn't matter what they do because they're on our shit list as soon as we start. No. Looking back at some of these old things after the Xbox, like I forget who this guy's name is, but it was like some entrepreneur dude who's like in his like early 20s, it was like his late 20s or something. I forget, I cannot remember his name, but he had like this big push to turn Xbox into a family console, and that's why the Kinect and all this shit came out, and completely alienating their core gamer fan base for years. It's like, oh no, we still care about games, but until they ousted that guy and the dude who's always in the Xbox press conference,
Major Nelson? No, not Major Nelson.
Not Phil Spencer, right?
Phil Spencer. Yeah, since when Phil Spencer became like head of all of Xbox gaming nonsense, yada. They've been actually doing more of a push to be for the video games, remembering on the Xbox who their core audience is.
Well, Phil Spencer at his heart is a gamer. I was listening to Pachter Factor, and Michael Pachter, he's known Phil Spencer for years, and Phil Spencer's a guy that he would get in trouble while he was working for companies for playing video games on the clock. Like, the guy loves games. So you get that guy on there. Yeah, you get him on there and you run your gaming company, he's going to do it well.
See, because Microsoft is like, if you want to push more stuff, that's fine. You want to push yourself to be more of an entertainment thing, that's fine. I'm not going to harp you on that. I'm not going to harp Sony on that either. But when they start talking about it during their video game announcements, it's like, you're starting to lose me. It's like Nintendo might be assholes, but at least they know who their audience is. People who play video games.
Well, although
they don't suddenly announce. They don't suddenly. It's like, it's the only time Nintendo actually announced something really stupid that I'm like, what does this have to do with video games? Was that one random Wii attachment that attaches to your finger and checks your blood pressure or something?
Oh yeah,
shit like
Wii Pulse or something.
Yeah.
And then or when Pokemon, when the Pokemon company came out with their announcement during like one of their Pokemon Direct things where it's just like Pokemon sleep and Pokemon toothbrushing kits. Like, what?
Yeah, but honestly, listen, I would say like anime and like video games have a lot of overlap in it when it comes to like the fan base, so that's less of a concern. But majorly, honestly, one of my biggest concerns with Sony buying up like Funimation and like what was it? Crunchyroll. I feel like it's going to like limit like diversity of like thought and like freedom in anime, like as far as when it get like localized. A good example of this is when a series that I kind of wish Scott was here for this conversation because he would know what I'm about to bring up. Interspecies reviewers.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You two got to talk about you two in this fucking anime,
Bro. I mean, well, it was so different. It was so weird.
It was
horny.
It was porn. It was hentai. It was a full hentai.
I mean, it was the thing is though, like it had solid writing. It was genuinely funny. Freaking hey, the term, sir, is almost H. Thank you very much. Anyway,
The fact that term exists now.
but freaking yeah, like the industry just freaked the fuck out once they realized what it was. They just kind of like licensed it and brought it over, and they freaked the fuck out once they realized what it was, and then like took it off, right? And like as you have like one one company start to take over more and more, and Sony wants to be a family friendly company, you're gonna find it where it's gonna be difficult for like companies to accept certain ideas like that, right? Like then that kind of like brings down like diversity of thought and diversity of like just the kinds of products that you have.
I don't know if a
company doesn't agree with it,
with their terrible original shows.
I give you that. We don't need any more High Guardian of Spice. Jesus.
Just aggressively boring.
Before we move on to some comic book news that we have this week, I do have the $7.99 membership and the $14.99 membership. I'm assuming it's ad and ad free, right?
I'd assume it is, because when I pay for Crunchyroll and it doesn't give me ads anymore. Well, except for certain anime, except for whatever popular recent anime come out, like right before you watch it, it gives you one ad and then it doesn't give you an ad again, which it's like, at least it doesn't lie complete. It's like sometimes that's a lie. Like Hulu, it's like, why are you lying to me? You said I wouldn't get ads, and now I'm still getting an ad. But it's like, whatever. It's the popular show, and everyone's gonna watch it. Somebody's gonna pay big bucks to skip the ad thing that says they can't have ads.
Yeah, Funimation might be something I eventually get once I have more time to actually watch TV, but between HBO Max and Netflix, my list is like still growing. So, and now that the Jeffersons, I found it on YouTube, like it's another thing that I'm like, all right, another thing to watch. So, but we do have, I love the Jeffersons, and we'll get to the Burkett blog. I have another movie that I just watched that I really enjoyed. But something that was announced at the Comics Pro annual conference, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ongoing comic is reintroducing the controversial Venus female turtle. Having debuted 24 years ago, the first female turtle was portrayed as having psychic powers in the live-action show called Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, which was on Netflix for a long time. It might still be on there. And the writer Sophie Campbell said, quote, "I'd been trying to make a Venus comeback happen for a while, and I almost can't believe it's finally happening," end quote. So in case you want to get this issue, it is going to be TMNT number 127. It's going to feature Venus on the cover, and there's going to be 2 additional variants. At the time of us recording this, it is still before the FOC or the final order cutoff, so you should still be able to order TMNT 127. She will also be on this year's TMNT Free Comic Book Day comic, which will be in May. So this is something that I'm like, you could only go up from here. There's no way you could make Venus any worse than what she was. This is going to be an utter improvement on the character.
Yeah, because, oh my god, I actually did watch The Next Mutation when it popped up back up on Netflix because, one, oh no, a Saban production? Me and my Power Ranger love, and it's like, I remember watching this, and then they even had an episode where they teamed up with Power Rangers in space.
Yes.
It was a corny episode. It made me cringe, and I remembered watching, and then I watched the show again, and I'm like, holy crap, I remember why I don't remember much of the show, because my brain has put a nostalgia block on me. It's like, I remember watching this show, but I don't remember anything about it. And then you remember, oh, right, because it's terrible. Like with Street Sharks. and oh my god, how did this stupid show go? And VR Troopers. When Saban was just like, we're gonna bring over all these tokusatsu shows and see if we can make them big. And it's like, oh no, that sucks. Oh no, this sucks. Oh no, we ruined Kamen Rider. Oh no, we tried to do it again in like the early 2000s and ruined in the late 2000s and ruined Kamen Rider. But Venus being Next Mutation was like, oh wow, girl. She had like, her bandana was like a ponytail because haha, it's girl. And she was like actually from Japan, and she had like in accent. And it's like, oh wow, and it's like all the turtles had like their bandanas were all different. Like Raphael's was all was like all ripped and shredded, torn up, and then some of them even had like different. And like that was the beginning of them having different colorations a little bit, and some of the stuff because like I remember like I can't remember when it was. I think it was in the TMNT 2003 show where they really started having like some of the turtles actually have different colors to like different shades on them of green on them, so you could tell them apart a lot easier than just bandana. Like it's better than what it used to be back when it was the graphic novel comic thing where it was just they had red and they didn't really, and, they just had red. They all had red bandanas. You couldn't really tell who was who except for like the belt buckle or whatever. And then they were also super edgy.
Yeah, all of them had the same attitude. It wasn't until the film came out, the live action one, that they started, and the cartoon, that they started having their own different personalities. And that's when, okay, Donatello's the nerdy one, and Raphael's the hothead. But in the original comic, they were all Raphael.
Yeah, Raphael, Raphael was the cool but rude one, and Michelangelo was a party dude. Sorry. But Venus coming back, I said, you know what? It's 2022. We could probably write Venus a lot better than just I'm girl. So then back in the 90s and then also it's not going to be some clunky suit actor trying to recreate girl type movements. It's like, and then I guess I don't remember if she had a weapon or not. I think the psychic powers were her weapons.
I'm trying to remember now, but yeah, she definitely had a weapon, but it wasn't anything like, it wasn't as cool as like a bow staff or a sword.
What can you do? Venus was a thing. Her coming back, it's like and it's a comic book. Her coming back, and that's like clearly it's like, Ninja Turtles doesn't really like do wrong from what I've been seeing. Like I like ever since the 2003 show, my love for Ninja Turtles I've been watching everything Ninja Turtle related. I'm watching Nickelodeon shows. I even unlike Scott, I like Clash of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it's animated gorgeously.
Which one is that?
That's the one where they all have different, where Raphael's like fucking like jacked and huge and shit.
Is that the one with the
huge and with the black
open April Neal? Yeah,
yeah.
I saw like a fight scene from that, dude. It was the most ridiculous anime over the top thing I've ever seen in my life. I love it.
Yes, it was the best Sakuga, man. It's fucking gorgeous.
I'll have to check it out because I never gave it a chance.
It's like sometimes the writing can be here or there, but because I feel like most of the money was obviously spent on the animation, but it's Ninja Turtles. You kind of have to take a certain level of this is going to be kind of corny a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, it's not going to be like as bad. Nothing will ever be as bad as the Next Mutation. The Next Mutation is good. It's like yeah, if you're a Ninja Turtles fan, you'll enjoy some of it, but it's kind of cringy.
Do you have anything to say on this one, Jacque, before we move forward with Deathstroke?
I've never been like really a big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like the last two. Well, I can't say I like the last two like adaptations to like animation.
How are we friends?
Was it? No. I say I can't say I like I can't say I like the last two because I haven't really watched the last one. I just saw that like fight scene that I really really liked. But I did enjoy the one before it. I think it was funny. I think it had some good action, and I think the more recent one really had some good clips. I just never got around to watching it, but
it's a show for you.
Yeah, it's a show. It's a show, right? Like, but it's interesting to see what they're gonna do with this like a new turtle in the comics. I just like never been invested enough in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to like really know.
I'm gonna have to reestablish our friendship.
This will also be the second female turtle in the current run of comics, the first one being Jacque. So they kind of skipped over Venus. They went with Jacque, who was an established character already in the run. She's a human that turns into a freak, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I guess not teenage, because she was older at that point, but she turns into a turtle. She has like a yellow headband. And now with Venus, that'll be two female turtles in the current ongoing series. And like I said, again, free comic book day. You can always pick it up for free and read up on Venus with that issue. The last memory I will have on Next Mutation is I remember working at the comic shop and I asked the manager at the time, I'm like, so on Netflix, we can play anything that's related to the comics, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, so anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is pretty safe, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Then I went to search and I knew Next Mutation was on there. So he's like, wait, you're not going to put on that next mutation crap, right? I'm like, yep, that counts. And I played it. He's like, oh no. And one of the first scenes is fucking Mikey looking down at Venus's boobs and then looking back up at her. Like, I'm like, and he's like, did you see that? I'm like, what? And we rewinded it. And sure enough, Mikey's fucking checking her out like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Children's show.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Ninja Turtle. Some of the Ninja Turtle series haven't, like, even the movies couldn't like get away from like TE. It's like even like what
they wanted to fuck April.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Shoot. And one of the animation I did watch, the one where April was like their age, like a teenager, freaking definitely wanted her.
Yeah.
Like,
And I remember Kelly was watching that with me, and she's like, but he's a turtle. And I'm like, well, maybe there'll be a plot point where he gets turned into a human or something.
No.
Never happened. He just ended up getting over it.
The furries will endorse it, though.
Oh, of course. So Twitter ended up resurfacing with this old argument again because hashtag make the Batfleck movie trended again because we're pushing restore the Snyderverse. So the argument came up of, is Deathstroke a Batman villain? And it happens every couple of weeks. It always comes up. And it's because, in case you're not in the know, the Batfleck movie, solo film, back when the Snyderverse was still a thing, the one that Ben Affleck was writing and directing, included Deathstroke as the main villain. If you watch the Snyder Cut at the very end, they set up that film with Deathstroke learning from Lex Luthor that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And that was supposed to set up that solo film. So Make the Batfleck movie started trending. And Deathstroke would have been the main villain, someone who hunts the Batman, someone who's keeping Batman on his toes constantly, someone who has ties to the League of Assassins with Ra's al Ghul, with Talia, bunch of cool shit in there. But now that movie's not happening, and the detractors, the people that are pro Warner Brothers or the MCU sheep, or people that are diehard, I guess you want to say, I don't want to say diehard DC, but the guys that are quote unquote true DC fans, that's what we're calling them now, because that's what they're calling themselves. Even though we're DC fans too. So
right.
They're saying that Deathstroke is not a Batman villain. So before I give my opinion on this, you guys, when you think of Deathstroke, could you see him fitting in the Batman universe? Obviously Teen Titans, but do you see him as someone who can go up one-on-one against Batman?
Yes, because I've known about Deathstroke I've seen him in Teen Titans and then even in the comic books but I've seen him in I've seen him go against Batman like in I think the first Batman animated movie when Damian showed up.
Yeah,
Damian became a character. It's like Batman was it's like Damian did the blow to Deathstroke. Batman could fight Deathstroke still because it's like he's part of the League of Assassins. It's like, come on, Batman was trained by these people. Most likely he knows fucking he knows Wade Wilson in some way, shape, or form.
Slade Wilson. You're thinking of Deadpool.
I'm thinking Deadpool. Fucking, I did it again.
So he probably knows Deadpool.
He probably knows. Batman knows Deadpool and just stabs and just throws batarangs in his eyeball, and then Deadpool just gives him a thumbs up and then walks out the room.
Yep.
But anyway, Slade Wilson. He knows the guy. Fucking, and it's like the fact that people even say I actually saw this. I actually saw you tweeting something about this or something the other day, before this was brought up, and I said, really, people, he's not a Batman villain. One, DC villains sometimes get mixed up with other ones all the time. This is the Kingpin, a Spider-Man, or a Daredevil argument all over it. They're villain all over again. And I tell people, you're dumb. They exist in the set. It's like they both live out of it's like that. It's not like Fantastic Four villains that never come in contact with don't come in contact with this. It's like, of course Deathstroke's gonna come in contact with Batman because they're like we said, League of Assassins. If Ray Strand literally goes Deathstroke, fucking damn it, I did it again. Deathstroke and says, go kill Batman. It's like he's gonna do it. Or in the freaking Damian movie where Deathstroke came in, fucking got Ra's killed and tried to take the pool for himself. Fucking it's like Talia went to Batman and told him what to go to Batman, and Batman pretty much got involved. It's kind of dumb that this argument pops up. I understand that Deathstroke has this whole thing with the Teen Titans, with like how he killed off a bunch of them in the beginning and all that stuff. But everybody get over it. These villains can kind of Deathstroke never had like a set villain type deal. Like it's just like Deathstroke. I don't think Deathshot was only a Batman villain.
Right.
Or, it's like, yes, the Batman only do like there's some villains that only deal with certain ones, but that's because they're the main villains. Yeah, you don't see Lex Luthor going after fucking the Flash, but that's because like he's dealing with Superman. Superman's the bigger Superman's his biggest threat, and
he did go after Batman, I think, in like one of the movies, right?
Yeah,
like
BVS.
Batman versus Superman. Yeah,
yeah, and then even in even when they cross, and even in like in the cartoons when they cross over, it's like the only person that actually went after Superman that ended up going after Superman wasn't Lex. It was fucking Batman. It wasn't Lex. It was fucking Joker going after dealing with Superman shit. And like I think Lex Luthor may have had an episode where like I think because it was a Bruce Wayne type deal, and then fucking they had to like there was something going on, but I can't remember off the top of my head the crossover episodes because I'm too busy watching everybody talk about like, oh, Batman stealing Lois from fucking Soups. It's like ha ha ha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no one says anything about Starro not being a Suicide Squad villain, yet apparently he's the main villain in the new movie. They let that go. They don't say anything about Deathstroke showing up in the Green Arrow show, even though he's not a Green Arrow villain, but they let that go. But for some reason, this is a problem. Even though Deathstroke has had a Batman versus Deathstroke miniseries, there's been a Justice League versus Deathstroke series. He's shown up in Batman constantly in the comic book. He's been in the Arkham Origins game. He was part of the main trailer for that reveal. But
man,
for some reason, it's a problem.
He's in the.
I don't know why it's a problem. It's fun when these villains Mitch and Madge. That's the whole point of like a what you call them, a universe of movies that like collaborate each other. Just to have all these villains like and characters. Have them all like interact with each other.
Yeah, it would make Injustice 2 hella boring if it was just one person type of villains that didn't know each other. These villains know who these other superheroes are. I mean, fucking just because Poison Ivy doesn't deal with Wonder Woman doesn't mean that she doesn't know who Wonder Woman is.
Exactly. That those round out our news stories for this week. Next, we have this month's What's New on HBO Max, the March 2022 highlights. So the first set of movies on this list are Resident Evil all through Resident Evil Retribution. So I think that's all of the Resident Evil films. And they are considered some of the best video game live action movies. And I know that's not saying a lot, but there are actually some great ones out there like Tomb Raider, Mortal Kombat. There's some really good video game live action films. Sonic the Hedgehog, Detective Pikachu. I have some experience. I think I went up to Afterlife and then I didn't watch the rest of them. But have you guys seen all the Resident Evils or will you guys be watching these again?
I have seen all the Resident Evil movies.
Nice.
I saw the first one. I'm like, who's this Alice chick? What's going on here? But I'm like, it's like, hey, that's that crazy wire puzzle from freaking Resident Evil 4 where he just jumps over, where freaking Leon just like, fuck that, jumps over it. But some of the other movies like kind of piddle out in my brain. I was like, I don't remember. Like, I remember seeing this, but I don't remember. I know I saw it, but I don't remember anything from it. And then Retribution, I saw it again, and they even introduced the Resident Evil 5 Jill with the little chest control thing, and then fucking just Alice just kicks her ass. It's like, oh my god! It's like after a while, it's like, okay, this is clearly someone writing their OC into Resident Evil. It's fine. I'm okay with this. At least it's like it has all these characters in it, and they get and then they can't. Chris and freaking Claire Redfield, it's like, oh no, they just sit in the background like it's like no, don't disrespect don't disrespect freaking Claire Redfield when in Code Veronica she does this like she's like in some John Cho movie where she's just fucking like running from fucking Gatling gun helicopters and fucking blows up an explosive blare and kills like 30 dudes at once and all this crazy shit. And then Chris Redfield, rock puncher over here, fucking punches a giant boulder inside of a volcano. It's like, don't disrespect these characters.
I never really got into the Resident Evil movies, so I mean, I played a few of the games, of course, but I never really became a big fan of the movies.
I gotcha. There's also Starship Troopers 1 and 2. Now, the first one I did grow up watching. Every time it was on HBO, I want to say, I'd check it out back when we had cable. And I never saw Starship Troopers 2, but I really liked the first one. And it's one of those sci-fi movies that I think is going to, if it hasn't already, become sort of a cult classic. The special effects behind it are cool.
I'm doing my part. Fun, interesting fact that I found out about. So apparently, for the suits that they use in Starship Troopers, they borrowed those suits in one of the series in like the beginning of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. They actually they asked the people from Starship Troopers they could use the suits because apparently the one of the clothing people in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy was also worked on Starship Troopers, so they literally just said, I want to use these suits again for like a one-off episode, and they said, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. But then they just used them for every time that the soldiers showed up and would get their asses kicked by whatever monster, they would use those suits. It was kind of like, oh, that, and as a kid, I'm like, oh, that's that one movie with the crazy aliens who bite people's heads off.
They suck up their brains and all that.
Oh boy.
Good
But
stuff.
I've seen both movies. They're wild.
They are, yeah. I'll have to watch the second one, but I really like the first one a lot. I know Maceo is a big fan of Larry David, as I am. I don't know if either of you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm or Seinfeld, but there's a documentary hitting HBO Max. It is an HBO Max original called The Larry David Story. It's going to be a two-parter. Parts 1 and 2 look to be showing up, I believe, this month, but they're going to be separated by a week or so. But it is basically his story and how his background as he worked on Seinfeld and as he developed the Curb Your Enthusiasm and everything in between as well.
I think I've seen like a couple episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm because I went into a whole HBO show kick for a while. Maybe it just didn't have enough Italians trying to kill each other in it for me, or weird Romans having in sex orgies or something, fucking for me to pay attention to it.
Julian and his sex orgies.
Whoa! I'm not the one who put the brothel in fucking in like the second episode of Rome. They did, okay? And of course I remembered that scene. Because I was a teenager who's like, oh no, pee stand up when there are sexy girls on screen. Excuse me.
And this next one, Jacque, we wouldn't have Black Panther without this next movie, Blade. It helped bring Marvel back from bankruptcy, basically, and from there they were able to have enough money to make Spider-Man, and the rest is history. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man made so much money, they went to Spider-Man 2, and so on. And the Blade sequels also made quite a bit of money. But that Blade film definitely saved the Marvel universe, for better or for worse.
I was a fan of Blade when I was young. I thought it was cool. I mean,
that's the background stuff you find out in the movie where we find out Wesley Snipes was kind of a dick.
Some motherfuckers just want to skate uphill.
I like that. I like that. I did like the Blade movies. They were just great. And also that was like one of the first movies I'm like, where I would ask, why is everyone's blood so black? it's normal red, but it's red, but it's like so black. And then someone told me it's like, you do know blood's like super dark when you first get it out. Like, it is?
Yeah, it's like almost crimson.
Yeah.
And then when it dries, it's brown pretty much. It's not like in the movies where it's bright red.
Yeah. When it's when it's bright red, you know that it's like, oh, this is a B movie. This is like fucking Santa Slay or something.
I think it turns bright red when it's like highly oxygenated or something.
Yeah, when it's out, when it's been out in the air for a little while, it turns bright red. But then when it, or like when you get like a small cut in your hand, it's like bright red. But if you get like a deep one, it's like almost black. Yeah. Or when they extract it from you, it's like, they're extracting my blackness. Give it back. I need that. I can't go to I can't understand rap music anymore.
My street friend.
Also hitting HBO Max is one I recommend, Fast and Furious 9, or titled F9, The Fast Saga. I don't know why they keep changing the titles. Just call it Fast and Furious 9. But it's the one with John Cena. They tried to get a replacement to The Rock, and in my opinion, John Cena doesn't work. I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's charming. I don't think he's a good actor. And Fast 9 was another example of that. It definitely made me miss The Rock a lot, and unfortunately, he won't be coming back for the last couple of films or the last film.
Not a replacement for The Rock, and
not at all.
Yeah,
I do kind of find it hilarious. It's like, I'm your long lost brother. It's like, oh my god, you guys just couldn't help yourselves.
I brought it up in one of the Lazy Gaming Guys streams. Like, I saw like a clip of John Cena from that new show. What was Peacekeepers? What is it called?
Pedomaker.
Well, excuse me.
You heard me.
I knew what Daniel was gonna say, and I let it happen. I wasn't good. I'm like, I know Jacque. He's like, and Jacque's gonna bring it up. Jacque, because I know how Daniel feels about Fast 9, and Jacque's gonna bring up Jacque's gonna bring up that show, and then Daniel's gonna say the thing. And it's gonna be funny.
I'm sorry, I'm clearly missing something. Like, where are we?
What happens when you don't pay attention to your friends?
Yeah, that's true. I'm Jacque's friend. That's good. So Peacemaker is directed and written by, he directed a few episodes, but it's written by Pedo Gunn or James Gunn. Therefore, it's Pedo Maker.
And he gets it.
Okay.
And that, like his film is Pedo Squad, not Suicide Squad, or Flop Squad because it flopped at the box office.
Yeah, wait. It's like I didn't know it was like I saw John Cena in like a scene, and I was like, I didn't realize it was him at first. I was like, wait a minute, like this acting wasn't good, but it was more competent than anything else I've seen him do.
Well, it was for me when I saw it. I'm like, oh, this is the wrestling persona. This is just the wrestling persona. This is the wrestling persona, and the wrestling persona is convincing enough, and that's why it's like. So they just channeled that essentially.
Yeah, I suppose that's what they did because it's just like it didn't seem like because I saw him in some other stuff, and it just seemed so forced and just uninteresting.
Stop,
but
wrestlers.
Yeah.
Just because you can fool a bunch of me and all my drunk friends who like to watch wrestling doesn't mean you can convince the normal movie going audience and even people who know even regular, like not even regular moviegoers, like people who know movies that you can act. Trust me. It's like when, once again I'll bring up Blade Trinity, like you know what they did with Triple H in that movie? They didn't have him talk very much, and people like that. It's like, don't have them talk. Have them do cool things.
Another one on this list is Teen Titans Go Season 7, which I'm several seasons behind on it. I really like Teen Titans Go. I think it's better than the original show. It's better written, smarter, funnier, whatever, but I did fall off of it, but thankfully...
That was a spicy meatball.
It's not, well, for someone who hasn't heard this before.
and I love saying that because these Teen Titans fan, like when this first came out, there was that pushback from these, like, oh no, but it needs to be like this is not Teen Titans. The original Titans is better, the darker ones. And it's like, have you fucking seen that show lately? It's not dark. It's just as light as fucking Teen Titans Go.
It's not dark. Yeah, I liked the original Teen Titans, but I understand that Teen Titans Go, it's like it's a comedy. Let it go.
Yeah,
it's like my whole thing was. It's like wait a minute,
because Teen Titans Go is a comedy, and like the real Teen Titans took itself seriously at times. It had like what you call them, like a comedic,
but it also didn't.
But yeah, that's it. It had like a comedic moments and stuff, of course, but like it took itself like seriously with like an ongoing plot.
Like so, the original Teen Titans, like literally, I could tell what kind of episode it was when they went from the opening itself. When the opening had, because the opening song was sang by this old famous Japanese rock group called Hi Puffy on Yumi, and fucking whenever they did whenever they sang the Japanese version, I'm like, oh, this is a silly episode. This episode I'm not supposed to take seriously.
Right.
This is an episode where it's going to be a joke. And I get that. Or it's going to have a lot more anime shenanigans going on. Because that's the whole thing. It's like it was kind of tone deaf. It's like I admit that I liked it, but it's also the show is tone deaf. When it's like one episode we could be dealing with Slade and fucking Robin literally having to deal with this dude who wants to mold him into another him, and then it's like you turn around and then you have freaking episode with Mad Mod where he's like fucking making all the Teen Titans do like wacky shenanigan shit and go through fucking Scooby-Doo doors. Or like this Batmite fucker who's fucking like,
I mean, yeah, I just
like no.
That. What you call them? Like the Teen Titans Go is definitely like less tone deaf than original Teen Titans, you know. But honestly, like it depends on what you're a fan of.
Go watch Young Justice. It's way better than Teen Titans.
Agreed. Yeah, at least the first couple seasons. Teen Titans Go has already been way more successful than the original show. So Teen Titans Go is going to be more remembered than the original show, thankfully.
Yeah,
so
Teen Titans Go has actually, I bet Teen Titans Go has an actual ending, fuckers.
It probably will. Yeah, it already has several movies too. That it crossed over with the original Teen Titans. They had the Teen Titans movie go to the movies, which was really good. Debuted in theaters, and they kind of answered that question of like, look, they can both exist. They're all fine, but they also have that villain in the show for Teen Titans Go that tried to like make the original Teen Titans like cool or whatever. So they've answered that criticism in Go of like, look, we've heard those fans, but they've also been like, but we're like way more successful already. Like more people watch this shit than that other one.
I still will never let go of the one thing in Teen Titans that bothers me to this day. Why the hell does Robin have steel-toed slippers?
What?
Look at the character design. Robin has like steel-toed shoes on. It's like they look like fucking slippers. How they're attached to his feet. It's like why does he have steel slippers? Why, Robin?
I'll have to
You've been
look at
able to
that.
kick. You've been able to kick ass with just the normal random booties that fucking Batman's given you for years. Why is it that? Also, the fact that they never reference Batman at all in the original
Yeah.
Teen Titans kind of pisses me off. It's like, except for like when Slade's like, it's like I'll be like your father, and Batman's like, Robin's like, I already have a father. And then suddenly you see all these bats flying out of the cave. It's like, I get it.
You got a couple more here on this list. Whose Line Is It Anyway? Seasons 1 through 8. So that one is another one I grew up watching, and I feel like if I'd go back and see it, the comedy would be too safe for me. Like, not really up my alley. But it is something I grew up on, and I do have fond memories of watching that show. And I'm assuming this is like the second iteration, not like the fully British one, but the one that had Drew Carey as the host.
Wayne Brady. That's all. That's all
Yeah.
I know about.
And also Dune 2021, it is nominated for a Brosker this year on their Best Picture. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch this last year's Dune, definitely check it out because it is excellent and it may win Best Picture. It'll be up to the rest of the co-hosts as well.
Oh, Dune. I still have to watch this one because I never got a chance to, but now that's going to be on HBO, I guess I have no chance to watch it.
I hope you do, man. Let me know what you think because it is excellent. Also got Blade Runner, Black Lotus, which Millennial Mike, who is one of the hosts on here and on the Ronin console with Scott, who's another LGG member, he was talking about Black Lotus, and I'll finally be able to check it out since I do like Blade Runner. I forgot which service it was exclusive on before, but now it's apparently anyone can buy it up. So HBO Max has it on there. I believe it's an anime type of inspired show. I'll have to talk to Millennial Mike about it.
Because I've seen the original Blade Runner, then the one they came out with back in
With Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, the Ryan Gosling one. Yeah, I've seen that. I saw that one, and I liked it.
Mhm.
And so I guess it's like Blade Runner. It's like Blade Runner fuels my gritty sci-fi. Those gritty
noir,
sci-fi,
detective
noir, gritty sci-fi movie type things. It's, because it reminds me like it's like that's why I got the Cowboy Bebop because it's like that same whole like. And it's like that same whole sci-fi aesthetic. I know there's a word for it, but I can't think of it on top of my head, and it's driving me nuts. But yeah, I will check this out. Cyberpunk, like cyberpunk type thing, cyberpunk.
There you go.
Dark cyberpunk type things. I always like that stuff. That's why I think my love for the Super Mario movie kind of like isn't as bad because it has like all this weird cyberpunk like shit going on mixed in with like modern New York stuff, and it's like, oh, this is neat.
Last one on this list is Halloween Kills. Again, this list is just a thing of highlights. You can see the full list online. A lot of them are up on Bleeding Cool, but this one is the latest one that takes place after the first Halloween movie. So there's like 3 timelines in Halloween. But this latest iteration of Halloween films are ignoring all of the sequels that have come out since the first one came out, and this is like a direct sequel type of thing. I think it was called Halloween. There was one right before Halloween Kills, I think. But this is the latest one. It brings back, there's a flashback of Dr. Loomis, which is excellent, and it's good stuff. I like the recent Halloween films. Are either of you fans of those or any of the slasher films?
Yeah, I'm more of a Jason fan than a Michael fan.
Is Jason feel more bulkier to you? Maybe more muscular?
No, it's just that his kills are a lot more entertaining. But also, like, is this the one where Jamie Lee Curtis kind of goes Ridley Scott and says fucking picks up a gun and tries to kill Michael?
Yeah. So for years she trains using all kinds of weapons because of what happened that one night, and she's just waiting until he gets out to kill him.
It's like, oh yeah, okay, good. So this is totally that thing. It's like, oh, what I like that movie because it's like, oh my god, Jamie Lee Curtis is funny and she's a badass. What the fuck?
I don't know. I never really like been too into horror movies in general, though. Fair. I've never been like too into those either. But like, yeah, like honestly though, I mean, it sounds cool. Always kind of like the idea of one of these slasher movies where like somebody turns on the killer, right? Like I think they had a few that has happened before. Correct me if I'm wrong. That is what's happening, right? Like one of the victims of this killer is turning on them and going to try to kill them.
Yeah, in fact, all of the victims from that first night are all like banding together to, once he escapes, they're all like, we're gonna fucking kill him. And
Right.
I was like, holy shit, that's a different plot.
That's cool.
That's a plot. Fucking, we're going all we're going fucking suburban commando on this motherfucker.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Was it? And honestly, I might check it out because of that. Because I always kind of like the idea of like, guess the hunter becoming the hunted.
No one's done
That's
that to Freddy yet, though.
It's also the movie where the internet had a freak out because it's the first, like, he kills a gay couple and he kills an interracial couple, and the internet, like Twitter, freaked out about it. And it's like it's like the Joker. There's no discrimination with these characters or these villains.
Yeah.
They just kill everyone.
Yeah, they just kill.
The thing about it is, you have to think about it. Were any of them doing any duplicit acts like drinking or having sex before they died? Because that's the one thing about these
That
slasher movies.
happens.
If they're doing anything duplicit, they're going to die. And unfortunately,
Gay sex,
unfortunately,
straight
they
sex.
can
You get these hands.
it's like not because you were having gay sex. No, it's because you were having sex in general.
Yeah, I said gay sex, straight sex doesn't matter. You get these hands.
Straight sex, gay sex, poly sex. I don't give a fuck. Clash killers don't give a fuck. They kill. They indiscriminately kill. It's just unfortunate that had to be freaking controversial thing. It's like everybody. It's like it's one of those things where it's like you're looking for a fight, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. But it's good stuff. It's a solid list here this month. Definitely better than Netflix's that we covered last week. This is a heftier one. So another addition to my list of HBO Max. If I have Maceo on next week, if he's able to be on, I got to talk to him about the Larry David story because that looks awesome. Hopefully it will have been out by then. But again, we do this once a month, the HBO Max highlights. And now we can head on over to the final portion of today's show. It is the Brocat Block, what Jacque, Julian, and I have been doing since the last time you heard us. So let's start out with you, Jacque. What's been going on with LGG? Again, this is your debut on the show, so it's kind of a chance for the Brocat Core to get to know you a little better.
Yeah, what was it? So lately, I've just been playing, like until yesterday when I finally got Elden Ring. I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West. It's a pretty good game. It's a pretty solid game. It sometimes gets on my nerves with some of the shit that happens to me.
Rage quit on he rage quit while I was streaming. I heard him rage quitting.
Right, while you were streaming.
Remember you were playing that game while I was streaming and you rage quit.
That shit was hilarious.
And then and then I mentioned you rage quit again and you're like, yes.
I don't remember doing it on stream. I remember like I was talking to you on the phone and then like
no. I think you did it. I believe you also were playing that game. You were also playing that game on stream because it's Pokemon and you really have and you already know that unless I tell you to look at the screen, you're not really
No. I wasn't playing Horizon while you were doing it. I was playing Minecraft and I rage quit Minecraft.
Oh, that was Minecraft. Yeah. Oh, right. Because you died. Because you went to the Nether by yourself looking for blaze rods. Like,
yeah.
And you should know, never go into the never. It's like if you're gonna go into the Nether, don't go in stacked and then get stuff and then get.
Oh, I didn't go in stacked. I just went in like I didn't go in.
Please tell me you didn't go in without armor.
I went in with armor. I didn't go in stacked. I went in with stuff that I was like willing to lose.
You should have went in stacked. You should have went in with like stacked elbows with bows and fucking bows and arrows and fucking blocks to block yourself from just in case they killed you. Come on, Jacque, you can't go. You just don't go into the Nether. Even I know that.
Yeah, was it? But no, I didn't go in stacked, man. I'd like.
This isn't a trek into your little random digging hole where God knows you'll find like a couple skeletons, maybe a creeper. No.
Nah, dude, freaking Minecraft's way crazier than that now, bro. like
yeah, I know, but that's what I'm just saying in general. It's like this isn't like someone digging into a hole and then finding like a small dark opening with enemies littered to the teeth. No, this is the Nether. It's made to kill you. It's literal hell.
Like again, freaking Minecraft's update is different, bro. It's not going to be a small dark hole. You're gonna probably find yourself in a huge cavern.
Semantics.
Yeah, like whatever. Anyways, regardless. Like, yeah, I've been playing Horizon. It's a great game. Really, it's kind of like more of what Horizon Zero Dawn brought you, but then it's more of what Horizon Zero Dawn brought, but like I don't know, just extra added. It's like it's a proper sequel. Yeah, that's the best way I could put it. It's a proper sequel, and honestly, like if you like the Horizon Zero Dawn, you're gonna like Horizon Forbidden West.
This is why I'm here. I'm Jacque's handler. It helps. I helped get his thoughts out.
It's my black ass. But what was it? And then like freaking Elden Ring. Whew, I played a little bit of it last night. I'm probably gonna love it. It is like I'm actually a little bit disappointed, or a little bit like not disappointed. Like, what's the word? Perplexed. I'm a bit perplexed that they decided to release maybe Horizon. I don't know which game would be considered a bigger name title, right? Because these are both like triple A like games that like people were looking forward to, and I'm not sure like who probably should have held their game back from like the looks of it. It seems like Horizon may have wanted to change their release date because like everybody like as soon as Elden Ring came out, I heard no more talk of Horizon, and it's sad because Horizon is a great game. It's just like I think that the fan base for Elden Ring is just like like the hype for Elden Ring was just like a lot larger.
It's because it's a Souls game. As soon as they make another one, and all of them come out of the woodwork, ready to freaking pay attention to this stuff, get their notebooks out, die a lot, and start their controversy about how people who complain about wanting an easier difficulty is turning video gamers into sad, pathetic blobs of no challenge and all their bullshit discourse.
I mean, listen, like outside that argument, right? Like because you have like people arguing feverishly on both sides, and it's like I remember when freaking the last game came out, Sekiro, and like people were saying, oh, like they're doing a disservice to gamers by putting it easy. Like, stop being. They were like pretty much shaming the creators of the game for not putting an easy mode. It's like chill. They don't want to put easy mode. You know. Like they don't want to put an easy mode. You shouldn't come out here and just like shame them and say they're like terrible people or terrible developers because they don't have an easy mode.
Yeah, I hear good things about Elden Ring, and a lot of people have been talking very positively about it. I expect a lot of streams for it from not necessarily you guys, but just gamers in general, since again there's a lot of positive buzz on it. Do you plan on streaming Elden Ring?
I would like to. I have it on PS5. And do you even have like an Elgato for PS5 yet?
Can't you just stream from it? PS4?
You can hook up the Elgato to the PS5. The thing is, you can just stream it from the thing,
Or from what? Oh yeah, I can stream it from the PS5, but I won't be able to use like all my shit that I have that I put all that work into to make my streams more like fit in line with what way professional streamers work. I mean,
out right now.
No, you use freaking like Streamlabs too. Don't give me that.
Yeah, but like just because I don't have my little intro, that I don't use the intro thing more like I'm supposed to, and so suddenly now I'm the bad guy.
No, I'm
the lazy one.
Why are you making this about you?
Because of course I'm going to
Julian.
Because I'm Julian. When will you understand? I'm going to make this about me. I can't even let you talk about your own life without interjecting and pretty much forcing you to make words.
Well, that's good stuff.
Yeah, but
honestly, I'm glad you're having fun with Elden Ring.
Yeah. I just like played for a little bit yesterday. I'm definitely gonna play some more today, later on. But yeah, really having fun with it. And as far as like stuff with lazy gaming guys go, like I've been a little bit of a rut lately, as far as like working on stuff. But I want to like take some of the live streams and do some more stuff. Like do some more edits where I make some shorter videos for people to be able to like digest in just like about 15 minutes or so. Like, did you get a chance to see the Unmetal video?
I did not. Did you upload it to your Twitch?
No, upload it to YouTube.
Okay,
He made your YouTube.
Made
a short. He shortened his stream of knockoff full Metal Gear. That.
No, I have to check it out because I do like when streamers do like the more concise. It's a shit ton of work, so I commend you because editing sucks. But
oh yeah, it was a shit ton of work, and the most difficult thing was I was working with like DaVinci Resolve, and I'm just not used to that like software at all. So
using Sony Platinum the other day.
Yeah, so like it's just like it's DaVinci Resolve is a great software, by the way. So if anybody's like looking for like free software that they can like make very competent edits on, I do right now. I do definitely recommend DaVinci Resolve because it definitely work. It's just like there's a steep learning curve.
Gotcha.
I'm telling you, when you're curating through those videos, you should just call me. You should, if you know I'm not working, you should really call me so I could help you concentrate on this.
And
and also
Julian,
help do some of the curating.
how about you? What's been
Okay.
going on in your week since I last heard you?
Let's see here. Let's see here. I bought Art the Darkiest. Been slowly trying to get through that game, and I do emphasize slowly. I just got done with like all the main tutorials of the game because I've just. It's not that I don't like it. It's that on my days off, there is unfortunately I have Final Fantasy 14 obligations, and I have to get that shit done so I can actually do raids.
Right.
So when I do get my own gaming time, it's like only on the weekdays, and then rarely because on Wednesday night I'm streaming. Thursday nights I have to be ready for my raid nights, and then Friday nights I started an Among Us, and I'm part of an Among Us group now on Friday nights who plays Among Us for like 2 or 3 hours and stops, and then I'm going to do my best on Saturday. On Saturdays to try to stream more of my Pokemon Nuzlocke, at least do my training arc bits because after the last stream I realized I'm gonna have to actually train if I want to train some of these Pokemon, but then. Yeah. I don't want to be I don't want to be scrutinized for any cheating. And anybody say, they died off. Oh, they fainted, and I fucking yes. It's like if they fainted, and I can't prove it. It's like fucking. Are you gonna sit there and want to watch me freaking stream me training for like 2 hours?
Stop cheating.
It's like I can't cheat. It's like I'm not gonna. It's like I have more integrity than that than the fucking cheat about if they die or not. Fucking no one even noticed when when my Meowth died and I had to fucking put him in the box. It's like I said, oh, it died, and everyone's like, wait, what? What's like he's dead now? Congratulations, I killed it. Fucking not paying because I wasn't paying attention. It's like I was too busy reading. No, I was awake. I was actually reading a message and then paying attention to what like Scott or Jacque were talking about for a minute, and then suddenly it's like, and I got critted. I can't help when something gets a critical hit off me. Okay, Pokemon has these variables, which sucks. That's what makes Nuzlocke harder. I'm being bad. It's like if they die, it's like I can't just say I can't. It's like I can't take it back when they die. If they die in the middle of training, oh well, too bad, so sad. My fault. It's my own fault for not taking them to a weaker level area first instead of trying to train them in the exact area I just fucking caught them. But that's the risk I take. I need them to get levels, and they're not going to get levels. It's going to take me longer to level them up if I level them up in little tiny baby areas that don't get any experience. But other than that, I actually bought this cookbook, and I've been trying to learn how to bake and stuff. Actually, trying to learn how to bake properly, so I can make something different than the same fucking chicken and fucking frozen vegetable meals I keep making.
I wish you luck in that because baking is much tougher than just your regular cooking. It's so formulaic. You can really work with it like you can regular food.
Yeah, it's just like, you saute the vegetables, you put the vegetables in the sauce and you fucking put the stuff on it, it's done. With the meat, it's like you just cook, you stick it in the things and it's done. It's like with baking, it's like I have to mix, it's like fucking chemistry.
Yes.
And I was never good at chemistry.
You put too much dough and now it's ruined.
It's like too much dough, it's tough, and it's like I made this cornbread the other day and I didn't have enough milk, and then suddenly now it was like the driest fucking thing, and it was supposed to be not dry, and it's like some of it was good because it had the milk in it, but some of it was like terrible because it didn't have enough in it. And then I also forgot to grease the pan, so the pan so some of it's like stuck to the bottom of the pan because I didn't grease it well enough. It's like it said lightly grease the pan. I fucking sprayed. I did what it said. Sprayed the fucking olive oil on it. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Coat it till the point where it's like dripping in the cooking oil. It's like, what do you want from me? What from me? I swear to God,
if you don't feel like you're gonna get like heart palpitations from it, you ain't do it right.
And I found this one recipe which I need to resist making, and it's fucking essentially making mac and cheese, rolling it into a bowl, freezing it, and then fucking throwing it into a deep fryer. I'm like, that sounds like the fattest thing ever, and of course my brain wants to do it, but I have to resist myself because it's like I'm 30 now. I can't just make this fried garbage and put it in my body. It's not going to work out that way anymore.
Right. Yeah, your body will remind you, like, yeah, we can't do this anymore.
I think I'm gaining a lactose intolerance. I think I'm slowly getting a lactose intolerance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've had that. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you're learning some cooking stuff, and Jacque, you're getting into some new games. I'm going to leave my Broket block for the post music since I'm a little strapped on time. So I'm going to leave that for that. I'm going to share the Instagram story results real quick. This week's Pokemon Silver won out over which one did you pick between Gold and Silver, and Silver won by a pretty large margin, and all I got to say is nobody's perfect. And then between
Honestly.
and between Star Wars best characters, it was Obi-Wan or Darth Vader, and Darth Vader ended up winning by a couple of votes. So that still ended up being Anakin. Is still, I guess, not technically Anakin, it's Darth Vader, but I thought it would be a closer poll than it was. Apparently not. Darth Vader is still more popular than Obi-Wan, in spite of the Obi-Wan show or movie or whatever the hell they're doing over at Disney. But there you go. Next week, I'll share next week's Instagram story results. And I do want to thank you, Julian, for coming back on as a co-host, and for you, Jacque, for making your debut here on the show. And go ahead and let them know first, and then, Julian, where they can find you on Twitter, Instagram, or...
Okay, well, first you can find all of us at YouTube/Lazy Gaming Guys, all one word. You can find me at Twitch on twitch.tv/obtuse_scholar. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter. Technically, yes, it's going to be at obtuse scholar, but I ain't.
It's a barren wasteland with nothing on it.
I ain't doing that there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I gotta stop tagging you on there.
I look at your tags. I do look at your tags.
Okay, cool.
I'm just like, I'm just never post anything.
Gotcha.
Getting Jacque to do social media things is like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I never post anything, but I do look at your tag. Whenever someone tags me or something, I do read it.
Okay, good.
So yeah,
So if you want to tag Jacque in the most offensive shit, you know what to do, people.
DM him.
No, thank you.
How about you, Julian?
Okay, so you can also find me at Kage023 on Twitter. Also, we do have our Lazy Gaming Guys Twitter at LazyGamingGuys on Twitter.com, where I am trying to make more of an effort to give us an actual appearance that we actually pay attention to things and look at stuff. Mostly it's a lot of Kingdom Hearts art. It's actually, to be honest, it's mostly art in general. That's all I spend my time on Twitter is looking at random fan arts and stuff from developers and junk, because it's like, it's interesting art, and I like to follow a lot of artists who make the video games that I like and some of the animes and junk that we like.
You guys stream every Wednesday, right?
We stream that's it. Stream every Wednesday. I'm going to make more of an effort to try and stream one of the weekends, because of that seems like that's my only free nights at this point that aren't swamped with doing this and doing that. I'm also, here on this podcast that slowly, as you can see, once we get Scott on here, we're going to make sure that Daniel never gets a word in, and we're going to have a Lazy Gaming Guys level argument on the Broket show, because that's what I'm calling it now. It's like the reasons why we Lazy Gaming Guys.
Yep, and then eventually you'll just keep dropping the reasons, and it'll just be Lazy Gaming Guys, the podcast.
It'll be Lazy Gaming Guys, and we've stolen all your clout, and it's like, oh dang it! Now we have to, and now we're no longer streamers. We went from live commentators to streamers to podcast, and now we're fully podcast, and now we're full on podcast people that sit here and whip Daniel into doing work.
little Daniel's playing all along to bring back breakfast with Lazy Gaming.
Yeah, it was all a plan.
I want to try. To be honest, I want to try and bring that back in some way, shape, or form. But I'm gonna have to. I have to allocate more time, because because my computer has now become also my social life at this point, and I'm trying to rebuild my actual social life. I actually went out to the bar for once, and lo and behold, 7 drinks in, I finally actually get a buzz going.
Bullshit. Was it water?
I don't know what's going on.
But you get drunk off of one drink.
Yeah, but I also laid off the sugar drinks this time. I also laid off the sugar.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
And I didn't drink. It wasn't beer. It was still liquor, but it wasn't beer.
Gotcha.
It was mostly vodka tonics, because I wasn't really thinking about anything, but I'm still not a big fan of bitter yet. Working on it.
Well, good stuff, guys. I really appreciate it once again for being on. As for where you can find the show, head on over to thereasonsimbroke.com. You'll find all of our social media on there. You can also there will be links for Julian and Jacque in the description of today's episode. And if you do have a couple of minutes, leave us a review on your favorite podcatcher if there's a rating system on it. Apple Podcast, I know, definitely has it. So the Stitcher takes 2 minutes, and it doesn't necessarily help us as far as gaining more listeners. But if people do read reviews before they subscribe to a podcast or follow a podcast, that much, the more recent reviews we get, the better it is for those that are on the fence about subbing to a podcast. So if you enjoyed today's show, leave us a rating or a review on whatever you're listening to us. And that about does it. Thanks again for joining us this week. I've been Daniel, joined by Julian and Jacque, and Brocat Core. All will be well. All right, so I did watch Tyler Perry's A Medea Homecoming, a Netflix exclusive. It is excellent. I passed on Spider-Man No Way at Cinema. I'm passing on the Pattinson film. I'll instead watch Medea again. I watched it with Kelly, and it is good. It is as good as the previous ones. There's a crossover with a Scottish, I think, character in there that they've done like the Medea thing also, or Mrs. Doubtfire thing, where it's a male actor that dresses up as an older woman, and they have a series of films. Well, that character crossed over into the Medea universe. So now the universe is growing even bigger, and it's good. You can watch it on Netflix if you enjoy the Medea films. This particular one is based on a play that he put out, which was supposed to be like the last Medea story, and instead he did it as a film and added a little bit more plot in there. And I'm glad, because Tyler Perry before this Homecoming one, he was like, I'm not doing any more Medea films. This is my last one. And as I've said before on the podcast, I'm like, yeah, Tyler, that's bullshit. As soon as your other films don't make as much money as the Medea ones, you're going to do another Medea film. And sure enough, he did one for Netflix, and it was #1 on the charts. It's doing great. I hope Netflix orders more Medea films. And I recommend it to you guys too, because it's fucking good. It's funny. It's hilarious. There's a great message behind it. Medea gives the main character like this amazing speech, which to me, Medea is the main character, but gives the supporting character this amazing speech about what marriage means, what relationships mean. And I'm like, this is fucking great. I learn shit. I watch wisdom, and I laugh along the way.
You did this because we're here, didn't you?
Well, the movie just came out.
Okay, so one, I agree. It's like fucking when I heard that, it's like
Yeah,
and Eddie Murphy's not. And Eddie Murphy said he was gonna stop doing fat suits after the clumps, and then lo and behold, he did fucking whatever the hell that one was with that one with that one. I forget what that movie was, where he was like this, where he played this squirrely nerd and then this big black chick. But I can't. Norbert, there we go. Okay, so me and Jacque, when it comes to the Medea movies, when they embrace the Medea-ness of it, I don't know about Jacque, but I know with me, it's like, okay, fine, whatever. Medea being crazy, doing wacko shit, that's fine. When Tyler Perry does the drama stuff, that's where my biggest problem comes from. Because when Tyler Perry does the drama stuff that isn't Medea related, that doesn't break up like all the black melodrama that we see in actual people's lives, that shouldn't be used for entertainment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Also doesn't help the negative stereotype of that problem. It's like,
yeah, that's my problem. Because you gotta remember too, like what was it? Medea is a black grandmother from New Orleans. Like it trust me, when they get into like the drama of when they get into the drama of like their families and the way things go, that shit is accurate. That is our lives, and I don't like it. It does bother me when it's leveraged for humor.
Well, it is and it isn't, because there's what I like about them, and she does this in the other films. He does this in the other films. Is he will provide a solution, and he pretty much says the truth of what should happen instead. And he does like this. I guess you could view it as preachy, but he tells the fucking truth as the character of like, no, you need to take care of your family. You need to be there with your kid. You need to leave your man. And it's all the shit that should be happening in these examples.
Yeah,
I feel you, but I was actually brought this up. I brought this topic up with my mom the other day when she was watching this movie about this black kid that was going to college, but until he got into until I think it was like some gang had a misunderstanding and killed him, and was
he scratching off a lot? Was he scratching off a lottery ticket too?
No, is it like
because like that's the scene from Boys in the Hood.
What was it? So maybe I don't know. I didn't watch the movie. I don't know. Maybe he was scratching off a lottery ticket, but like
That
no,
would have been
freaking-
hilarious. Though.
my mom was watching this movie, and I told her, I said, why is black entertainment always like so depressing, right? Like when I look at like a lot of like non-black entertainment, like yeah, they have sometimes, but they have their issues, but they don't like they also have like a lot of lifting, like more uplifting stuff, right? Whenever you look at black entertainment, it's always wroth with drama and death.
Well, Jacque, it's because Jacque, let's be real here. It's because they write because a lot of people write about when it comes to drama stuff, they write about what they know, and unfortunately, like you hear all these stories you hear all this stuff from people in their actual lives, and then some people write it this way. My problem isn't like when it comes to like I don't like I've had rough older people in freaking family stuff who pretty much tell people y'all need to stop being ridiculous and all that stuff, and I get that, and then people change their ways and everything. It's like that part, like I said, I never have it's like the Medea movies. I may have given like I had to rewatch some of them. It's like okay, fine. So some of the Medea movies, like when Medea's on screen, I'm like I'm having a good time and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then especially when it's like especially when the movie is Medea centric, I enjoy myself more. But when it comes to when she's like only when they like mention her and she's a side character, comes in for like
Right.
2 seconds, tells something stupid, and then suddenly Tyler Perry's going back to being Tyler Perry and doing drama stuff, I'm not
Yeah.
entertained.
I get you. And those are some of the earlier ones, but these newer ones are basically she's the main character. She's in it more. And I don't think this newest one is depressing. It does deal with some drama, but it is uplifting. And it is funny and it's bright.
A lot of the recent Medea movies,
Yeah.
Tyler Perry has kind
I
of
haven't seen most of the
mellowed
stuff,
out.
so I will.
He's mellowed out. I feel like Tyler Perry's even noticed like, oh wow, my movies kind of like make some black people feel like it's like it gives them memories they don't want to have to like that they don't want to like remember and stuff from like their own personal experiences. And also he's also mellowed out in like the fact of like practically being like this ridiculous crazy person who kind of just from allegedly like has cult like aspects when it comes to his acting shows. Like this isn't the same Tyler Perry who made all those recorded TV fucking onstage dramas. It's like he's now he's now seasoned and understands like I can't just do the same shit I do in my shows in movies anymore, because it's like when I do that, it's like people watch this and then it's like it just doesn't feel good. It's like nobody wants to go to a movie wants to watch a movie to feel like shit. It's like movies can be engaging and make you think about.
I think we just lost
Headphone
Julian.
popped out. Headphone popped out. But headphone popped out. Fucking they can make you feel, but freaking like I remember like one of the girls I know from work, she said she couldn't watch one of the movies because it reminded her of like this is how like my aunt was with like one of my cousins and all this stuff and yada 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 blah blah blah. And that's why my cousin lives with us. Yada. And it's like, and my cousin and I can't watch this because like I see how my cousin goes through this stuff and it doesn't work out that and all that stuff. But then she's like, but then she'll still watch like the movies where it's just Medea centric. And she even said like this is a lot. It's a lot more digestible. And I'm like, okay, this girl who doesn't watch a lot of movies, and it's like if she says, I should mellow the fuck out. Maybe I should mellow the fuck out and kind of like give these movies like a shot. And like the last recent ones that came out, it's like I did, and it's like okay, fucking fine. Like Medea goes to jail. It's like I thought that I skipped it. And like okay, fine, this is funny. This is funny. Fucking Medea teaching all these crazy jail women how to fucking stop being stupid.
Damn right.
But I will also revisit some of these newer movies and revisit Medea and try out some of these newer movies and see if if I have the same reaction.
Yeah, good. I'm glad I've converted some more to the Medea cinematic universe, the real MCU, the real MCU.
But watch it. But I'm still gonna be like, it's still it's like just no, it's still ridiculous. It's like the fact that Tyler Perry's going back into this. It's like you fucking lying piece of shit. How dare you fucking even give the inkling that you were going to stop? And that's like these things make money. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. It's like I'm tired of the Medea movies. I want to go back. It's like I feel like it's like you want to go back to all the stuff that makes you dramatic and makes you serious. You do know Key and Peele make horror movies, and everyone takes them seriously and still think they're funny.
Yeah.